And this is why some people think conservatives don't like black people. Welcome back to the Biblical Conservative channel. We'll come against the anti-God, anti-biblical, anti-American, anti-Christian spirit that's looking to prevail in this land. So the Super Bowl was yesterday, and it was a great game. Came down to the final minutes, and the Chiefs beat the Eagles. But obviously, whenever there's a Super Bowl, you have people that are looking to score points to further their agenda. And the person I'm talking about today is Matt Walsh. So during the Super Bowl pregame, before the game, you had Cheryl Lee Ralph do the Lift Every Voice and Sing.
Lee Ralph.
Lift every voice I see, till earth and heaven ring with the
Now, every Super Bowl since they started this, you've had conservatives complain about it. Now, personally, I think it's just performative virtue signaling. It doesn't do anything. I mean, the NFL's already done enough for black men to enable them to get out of the situations they're in, to empower them to become millionaires. And the NFL has done a lot for that. So they don't have to have end racism painted in the end zone, or they don't have to wear helmets, inspire change on the back tab of the helmet, and they don't have to have Lift Every Voice and Sing. This was born out of the George Floyd protest of 2020. But it really doesn't matter. My problem is that people like Matt Walsh are using this to further the racial divide. See, when people like Matt Walsh say stuff like this, they're looking to gin up emotions, outrage. They're playing right into the hands of the progressive, liberal, Marxist, communist folks that want to divide this nation based on race. When you say no other country on earth is ridiculous enough to permit different racial groups to perform their own national anthems before major events, dude, you don't understand. It's called the Black National Anthem. It's a euphemism. It was called that because when it was written back in the late 19th century, it was sung by African Americans who were thankful that God provided them a way to be free, to be liberated. And so they sang that as a song of freedom, a song of liberation, giving thanks to God. That's the intent of the song. Yeah, some people now have co-opted it and called it a Black National Anthem, but black people don't go around singing that's our national anthem. We don't kneel down to it. We don't pledge allegiance to it. It's just called the Black National Anthem, but you took the bait. People like you and Marjorie Taylor Greene took the bait. You guys decided to use this as a way to wedge a division amongst people. You don't understand what you're doing. You're playing right into the hands of the folks who say you don't like black people by calling it wokeness. Stop this. All you're doing is dividing us. And then we talk about that train derailment in Ohio and say that Joe Biden's not saying anything about it because it doesn't check off the identity boxes. Yeah, probably that's true. But you don't know who lives there. White working class people. That's probably true. But you undermine your point by your previous tweets, by saying that the Black National Anthem is another national anthem. It is not. It's the same entire argument that some conservatives like to use. Please, I wish some conservatives would think before they tweet, and think before they type, and think before they speak, because you're not doing anything to uplift the conservative movement. You're not bringing people over to your side. You're furthering the divide. You're hurting the battle that we're fighting in the culture by pinpointing and talking about frivolous things like this. Let it go, man. It's not that big of a deal. But when people like myself, who is a biblical conservative, when we see stuff like this, we have to speak out, because all you're doing is gaslighting people that want to say conservatives don't like black people. That's all you're doing. You're playing right into their hands. The fact that Lift Every Voice and Sing was sung before the Super Bowl, yeah, I know it's performative, but it really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. So it shouldn't be that big of a deal. But the simple fact that you say that, because all that is, people can say that's a dog whistle. That's a racist dog whistle. If they had a song that was sung by the quote unquote European National Anthem, would you have the same outrage? That's my question. If that was a quote unquote European National Anthem that was sung before the National Anthem, would you have that same outrage? Nobody's saying that there's two national anthems. There's not. That's a euphemism, but you've taken it to heart. Stop it. It's unnecessary. We're not victims. We are empowered for greatness. You're undermining the true racism that takes place in this land, the true oppression, the true Marxism, the true communist, the true progressive agenda. You're undermining that by focusing on a simple song that was sung for the Super Bowl that has its roots in the black church. Stop it. It's unnecessary.